Sarnage!
Hello and welcome everyone to a brand new series here on my channel. I'm Lynx and this is SnowRunner. This is a game that I've had some immense fun with so far. I've been playing it on the PS4, but I now have it on PC, and I thought what better way to share my enjoyment of this game with you guys than to start a new game and, just detail my exploits. I by far haven't done everything that this game has to offer. In fact, in the newer regions I've done very little. And the old regions also have new contents apparently, which I haven't done either. So I'm going to find a lot of stuff that I haven't done and probably end up in a mess several times. But yeah, that's half the fun of this game. So for those who don't know, SnowRunner is basically an open world kind of trucking sim where you take on contracts and jobs of varying degrees, whether it be transporting cargo, fixing bridges, building oil derricks. There's quite a good variety. And I've loved it since I started playing it, so I want to play it for you guys. So we're just going to get started, and I think what I'm going to do is, as I go through, I'm probably just going to describe a few things about the game itself and what I'm doing, but otherwise I'm just going to play. And if you guys want to see more of this, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you like to. There will be not just SnowRunner contents coming on this channel, but also some other contents as well. I'm planning on doing other games and also some different stuff as well in the pipeline. So, keep your peepers peeled. But for now, we're just going to start a new game in a new slot. And let's go trucking. I have my coffee. Gotta stay caffeinated. So, here we are, Michigan. It's the first area. This first bit of the game is a bit of a tutorial on most of the basics of the game. I'm just going to blast through it and kind of just say a few things as I go, because there's a lot of pop-up tutorials that come up, but I'm not going to go through those. You don't need them. So, here we are in game. I am playing this with a gamepad because I found that the keyboard controls are nasty when it comes to accurate steering, and I don't own a wheel, and I've never really liked them either, to be honest, as a control method. So got my Xbox controller, and we're just going to take the handbrake off, and we're going to kick it up this road. So basically during this tutorial, what we'll... Oh, go away you. Yes, see what I mean about these tutorials? There's quite a few of them. So basically in this tutorial what we're going to be doing is discovering a watchtower, which are very much like Far Cry. They reveal sections of the map and give you information on what's around them. We're going to be discovering one of those. We're going to be picking up a new truck, and we're going to be collecting some materials to repair a bridge. And from there we're going to be heading off to find our first garage. So, excuse me. So, there's a fair few things about this game that a new player could find a little bit daunting. First, as you can see, the steering is a little bit twitchy at times. I think that's probably because I'm driving too fast. But I have found that certainly until you start getting some upgrades on your trucks, they do control a little bit squiffy-like. but you kind of get the hang of the steering after a while. You've just got to be gentle with it, as opposed to you know, trying to rough your way through things. This game rewards patience, it rewards tactics and planning. If you try and rush things in this game, it does bite you. It bites you hard, and I have spent many hours on the PS4 recovering from my mistakes. Gonna try and not do that this time round, but as I said, I've not done all the contents, and I haven't explored all of the maps fully by any means, so I'm probably gonna get stuck at some point. Try not to again, but you know, we shall see. So the Chevy we have here it's a very basic Scout. There's several different types of truck in the game. So you've got Scout vehicles like this one, you've got heavy trucks, you've got off-road trucks, and they're all good at different things. This Chevy is, actually, if I put on the all-wheel drive, it'd probably act a bit better. So, we have discovered our first watchtower. There's loads of these around the map. I'll just show you that dead quick. So, this is the map here for the first area here of Michigan. And all of these little tower symbols are watchtowers that we can uncover to reveal portions of the map. You can also reveal the map just by driving through it, but it doesn't. If there's something like off to the side in the grey area here, you won't see it unless a watchtower reveals it or you drive straight up to it. So it's best to get the watchtowers. It does allow you to see all of the roads in the area so you can plan your journey and everything. Anyway, so we found the watchtower. We've now got to find our first truck, which is just down here. So we just need to go down this road and round. There is a waypoint system in the game that you can use. I don't tend to use it a lot of the time unless I'm planning a new route, but just for you, I will show you the system. So you can just block down some waypoints, and what they do there is they stick a little, see that blue waypoint? That's just the waypoints, so you can get an idea of which way you should be heading. Sorry guys, my nose has just started itching. Oh, didn't want to go in there. Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. Oh, yeah. Probably shouldn't have gone down that hill quite so fast there. And like I said, I should have more patience. I know better. Right, so I'm going to head down here and up this little road to the left, and we're going to find our first truck. Whoop. This thing really does like sliding around. So here is our first actual truck of the game. So this is probably a good point to show you the sidebar menu here. You access that by pressing up on the control pad, and it just allows you to do some various actions from here. So you can attach winches and trailers to things, stop the engine, which is what I'm going to do here so it doesn't consume any more fuel. You can change truck, which is what I'm going to do there. Just change over to the new truck we've just found. You can also change truck just by selecting it in the menu here. You see, you've got different trucks and you can just swap back into them. But we're going to stay in the GMC for the time being. So you've probably just been wondering about some of the little things around the bottom of the screen. So below the function menu here, we have our, in the bottom left corner, we have our fuel gauge. It shows us how much fuel we've got, how much we could have, and also how much we're burning per minute. So You'll see that number fluctuate depending on the terrain. And below that, it also gives us the vehicle damage parts. So you can damage your truck if you crash into things, or if you run over things. You have a chance to damage and potentially destroy various parts of your truck. So this just allows you to kind of see the status of different parts of your truck there. So you can see this one is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it yet. Over in the right hand bottom corner there, you have your controls. So that's where you will see things like your handbrake, your all-wheel drive, your diff lock, and your gear control. So I can change any of those as I need to suit the terrain. And at the moment, up there in the top left, it just gives us the status, the main kind of facts about our truck, so power, weight, durability, and fuel consumption. It also shows us how much cargo space we have on this truck, which is 2 slots. And if we had any cargo, it kind of shows a little symbol there as well to show what we actually had on board. But anyway, enough pitter patter. Let's start this baby up and go and see what we need to do. So we are currently doing a contract for Steel River Township as part of the tutorial here, and it's old bridge construction or reconstruction. So we're just going to activate that, and as you can see, there's the bridge on the map. It's got a little drop-off logo. Little down arrow means a drop-off point. And what we need to do is we need to take some metal beams, which we'll get from the town storage here. That's the up arrow is a little pickup point. But then afterwards we will also have to do another little task, which we also have to deliver to the old bridge, which is 2 planks, and we get those from the lumber mill. So what we're going to do, as we're right next to the lumber mill, just to save a little bit of time, we're going to go and pick up this trailer here. These little symbols show you where trailers are on the map. So we're going to grab that trailer, grab some wood, and then drive up to the town storage, grab the metal, and drive them both over to the old bridge at the same time. So that's the plan. So let's get this baby rolling. Now, one thing I will say about this particular truck is it's not particularly great. It's one of only a few trucks in the game that's classed as a highway truck, and sadly it is good on roads, but that's about it. It doesn't have the functionality for off-roading very much. You can see it's slipping around quite a lot. It doesn't have any extra added benefits for doing off-road stuff, so we're probably going to get rid of this pretty quickly once we actually get a new truck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just back up through this little fence here, because what you don't want to do with this particular truck is get it stuck in mud, and that little lead up there towards the towards this trailer is really muddy, and you will get your truck stuck very easily in there. So I'm just going to show you a little trick I use here with the winch. So all trucks have a winch, and you can use it just to kind of, you know, hook up to any point of your truck, and you can then get within this green area. You can select any other little winch point, and you can use the winch to kind of pull yourself out of trouble, or to pull other things out of trouble. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to attach it to the trailer here and just pull that a little bit closer to me, and then I want to try and attach it. So I'm not quite close enough yet, so I'm just going to kind of pull forward a little. Right, that should be good. So there we go. You see, that's attached to the trailer. So I can cancel out of that, and I'm just going to pull this trailer out through this bit of grass here. There we go. I'm going to avoid the worst of the mud with this truck. So, ooh, no, don't drive into it. Drive around it. As you can see, this truck really doesn't like mud very much. But we will be getting some different trucks and some much better trucks in the near future. So we've only got to really make do with this truck for the tutorial stage. And then things get a little bit easier after that. Not by much. In the early stage of the game, you don't have a lot of access to the tools you need. You don't have access to tires or upgrades for vehicles until you find them. So there is a little bit of struggle at the start of the game, just until you start finding things. But the early tasks aren't too difficult, and you can generally complete them with a little bit of brute force. So once we get up this hill, you'll see that this truck actually responds a little better once we get it onto some tarmac. Oh, come on now. Come on. I'm trying to get it out of those divots so that it doesn't get stuck too easily. Alright. And there we go. Now it's on a little bit of flat ground. It's pulling much better. You still want to be careful with how much power you give it, even a truck like this, because they do tend to run away from you, and if you need to stop suddenly, if you're going too fast, it can cause a bit of a problem. So here we are at the town storage. So we're just going to turn in here, and these little sites are where you'll be picking up cargo. They're always marked on your map where you can pick certain things up, and you can either load it manually or automatically. So to load it manually, you do need a crane on your truck, and you'd spawn cargo in that little red area and pick it up. Or you can just go into the yellow box here and pick the cargo up and load it automatically. So there's the metal beams we need. We just need one of those. And now we're just going to drive this lot down to the bridge. We're going to do that first by driving around here so that we discover that trailer. Because every little trailer that you discover on the map, well, most trailers that you discover on the map will award you a little bit of experience, so it's always good to drive up to them if you see any trailers. If the trailer is involved with a quest, if it's like take this trailer to this spot, then you won't get any experience for it. But if it's just a trailer in the wild, like that one there, you'll get a little bit of experience. And it's not a great deal, but it does help you out. Certainly in the early stages of the game, it can easily push you up a level just from getting a little bit from a trailer discovery. So I'm just going to follow this road now down to the bridge, and we're going to fix this bridge up. So on the left here we have a fuel station. We can use those anytime to fuel up. We don't actually need to now. We've only used a little bit of fuel and we still have plenty left, so I'm not going to bother filling up at this point. Refueling is completely free, so don't be afraid. If you do get this game, don't be afraid to fuel up at every opportunity if you're a bit uncertain, because in some areas of this game fuel stops can be very scarce. So, oh, I ran over a rock and damaged my suspension. So, as you can see now, down in the down the bottom left there, the suspension icon has a little circle with a piece missing. That shows me the remaining durability on my suspension. So it wasn't a big hit, but I'm going to try and avoid that in the future. So here we are at the bridge. I'm just going to stop here. And these little drop off here, again, they give you an unloading cargo prompt. So sometimes you will have multiple jobs on these drop off points, or multiple items that you can drop off. It's all the same. If there are, you just scroll to the one you need, but as there's only one here, I'm just going to drop off those metal planks firstly. And there we go, that's the first stage of the bridge done. And now it needs wooden planks, so we have them in the back there. So we're just going to unload those wooden planks and finish the bridge. And so that's complete. And as you saw there, we also leveled up. So pressing down on the D-pad brings you to this little menu, and as you can see there, we're now driver rank 2, and we now have 8,000 credits. So this screen gives you kind of like a brief overview of how you're doing in the game. Basically, it's just the status. So it shows you all the vehicles you found, the watchtowers you've unlocked, upgrades, how many missions you've done, all that kind of stuff. And it also gives you a checklist of all the contracts that you can do, all the tasks, all the trucks that you've discovered or have, all your results for competitions, achievements, all that kind of stuff, you know. And it'll do that for every single area in the game. So currently, if you buy this game and you buy the base edition, you'll get access to Michigan, Alaska, and Tamia. If you buy the season pass, on top of that, you get Cola and Yukon. There are also some other areas coming further down the line. I know there's a map for Wisconsin coming, and I believe there's another expansion after that, but we don't really know very many details about what area that's going to be yet, unless I've missed a posting somewhere. It's possible. And as you can, wrong button. So, and as you can see, it also gives you your kind of completion percentage. So we've now completed 5% of Michigan. So, okay. So our next job now is to find our garage. So we're now here, down by the bridge that's repaired, and our garage is over here. Thankfully, the route is relatively straightforward and relatively easy, even for a truck like this. So we're just going to head off. We're going to take this trailer with us because we don't want to leave them scattered around the map. Also, trailers are relatively expensive to buy. So if you can find a trailer, it's better to find one than to buy one. But the good thing is, if you do have to buy one, you can sell it back at trailer stores for the same price that you bought them for. So you don't lose any money from buying them. You just have to have the right amount of money up front. So we're just going to take this through here, avoiding the worst of the mud. Come on. I'm going to have to... Oh no, that's not good. Right. We are a little bit stuck here. Meant to go around this, but got stuck. So I'm going to take that spot and I'm going to attach it to that tree. And I'm just going to winch us forwards a little bit, which should hopefully give us just enough purchase. Yeah, there we go. So that's something you'll probably see me doing a lot of in this early stage of the game until um, until we level up enough to access better tires and buy some better trucks. You do tend to get bogged down quite a bit, even in relatively relatively low mud environments. But generally you can pull yourself out and it's not too much of a problem. And if you're careful, like here for example, when you drive around the mud, you shouldn't actually get stuck in the first place. Go me. So, just heading on down the road. This is probably the worst little bit on this route, but even so, it's not too bad. And even this water here, it looks deep, but it's really not. It's very easy just to drive through, as long as you're careful. Oop, ran over another rock there, took another point of suspension damage. My trailer is now trying to audition for a new role as a slalom skier. Whee! So we're just going to drive on over here to where our garage is, and there we are, we found the garage. We just need to drive around here and just spin it round and drive into this blue box, and that will be that quest done. So that's basically the tutorial done. So from here we're just going to do a few other little bits and bats. First thing we're going to do is we're going to just grab this upgrade. So upgrades are all over the map. You basically just have to drive into these little boxes and grab it, and that's the upgrade. We've also got a new truck here, which is, as you can see, completely busted, but it's no real biggie. We'll get to that in a minute. First thing we want to do with this truck though is just drive on over here. And as you can see, we've got some trailers over here. We just discovered a new trailer there, and a new trailer there. So that first trailer we didn't get any experience for because it's a quest trailer, but the other two we did. And the trailer store here is where we're going to sell this trailer. So if you have a trailer attached, it'll show up as a white little box around it and you'll get the sell icon. So we're just going to sell that trailer there. But you can get a variety of other trailers, so you can buy fuel trailers, sideboard trailers, ramped flatbeds, large fuel carriers. Some of them require, like the trailer here, like the gooseneck and the wide flatbed and all that kind of stuff. Super heavy semi-trailer, that is new. Holy moly, I'm gonna have to try that baby out at some point. That is a big trailer. sorry, I'm drooling over trailers. That's really strange. But some trailers you see clipping into the back of the truck, that's basically because they need a saddle. They're not a towed trailer, they attach to a saddle, as you can see there on the just below at the bottom of the box there. It says saddle high is required for those ones, saddle low is required, saddle high. So generally specialist trailers will need a high saddle, more general trailers will need a low saddle. But that's where you can buy and sell trailers. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to switch over to the garage, and you can either switch over to the garage by driving to the garage and driving into the box that we drove into earlier, or you can use on the function menu here this little recover command, and what that does is it transports you to the nearest garage. It does mean that if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you recover, you will teleport back to the garage and you will have to drive back out there. But sometimes if you get absolutely stuck, you have to recover. There's just no way of actually recovering some trucks from certain situations. And other times, if you've reached your destination, dropped off your cargo, and you've got nothing else to do in that area, you can recover back. It's just like a little quick transport option. So, coffee slurp. Ah, glorious caffeine. So, starting from the garage here, we just have a few options. So we've got a customized menu, truck storage, truck store, and leave garage. So customize basically just allows you to change things about your truck. You can, like for example here, you can put raised on it. As you can see there, we can't do it at this moment because we've got to explore Michigan to find the raised suspension for this truck. And some options, like different tires here, instead of finding them, we've just got to reach a certain driver rank. So that's why it's important to level up, because you get access to better things, and tires are probably one of the most important things in the game. Obviously having good the appropriate suspension, powerful engines, good winches, all that kind of stuff is very useful, but tires are probably the most influential item on your entire truck. You know, if you do not have the proper tires, you will struggle. So, for example, this truck at the moment has 43-inch highway tires, and as you can see by the wheel performance there, excellent on-road, average off-road, and very poor in the mud. Whereas if we go, say, to all-terrain tires here, we go good, good, average, and like off-road truck tires here, we go average, excellent, good. So, and obviously chain tires give you excellent performance on ice, stop you slipping around, which you do need for places like Alaska, Kola, and Yukon. You can also equip different backs on your vehicle depending on what you want to do with them. So like there's your saddles, for example. You can pop a loading crane on, fuel tanks, seismic vibrator module. That's for Russia. That's for some of the quests in Russia. The metal detector, you actually need to find that upgrade in the Kola Peninsula. It's used in Kola Peninsula, so some of the missions there. But yeah, so you can customize vehicles to your heart's content for their role. You can also give them different looks, so you can change like the type of exhaust they've got. Not going to buy that. Type of bumper, for example, and some options are level locked. So to get some things you need to level up as well, but they're mainly cosmetic. And you can also change the colour of your truck. You've got multi-tones, you've got just one colour, and some trucks also have special DLC patterns, and some of them are really good. Some of the custom paint jobs from the DLCs are really good, and if you buy the season pass version, you get them all. So you know, I would say it's probably, if you intend to really play this game, buy the special edition with all the DLC included. If you just want to try it out, just get the base game. You can always buy the season pass later. You can also add a few accessories to the inside of the truck, you know, put hood ornaments on, exterior stickers, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of customization options. You've also got the truck store, where you can buy new trucks. So you've got highway trucks, heavy duty trucks, heavy trucks, off-road trucks, and scout vehicles. So some are level locked, like for example this one, you've got to reach level 10. Some are like this one, you've got to explore the world to find it, and obviously you've got to have the right amount of money in order to buy it as well. And some trucks can get very expensive, like for example the Twin Steer here, nearly 120,000. We have 12 at the moment, so you know it's certain things you will get later on. Certain trucks are also only available in Russia, so like these trucks are all American, so you can buy them in America. whereas these trucks not available in North America. So you've got to actually go to Russia in order to buy those trucks. But yeah, so there's also truck storage here. We actually have a couple of vehicles already in our truck storage. They're from the DLC, as you can see there, the Bandit and the Khan. But what the game wants us to do now is a quick travel tutorial. So you can retain a truck by pressing X here, which puts it into storage. So if we go to storage, it's now in the storage with these ones. And we can then travel to different areas. So what it wants us to do is just travel to Alaska, to the garage, deploy a truck, and it's basically just to show us how to change maps. And this will be the end of the tutorials for the time being anyway, I think. Is this the end? Yes, I think it is. So we now can go to truck storage again. We can select the GMC, and we can then leave the garage, and hey ho, we're now in Russia. No, Alaska, where this truck has no business being. Well, actually, we'll just say hello to this trailer here, and we'll just quickly hook this trailer up and sell it. Just get ourselves a little bit of extra cash. So we're just going to take this over to the truck store here, and we're just going to sell that, get ourselves a little bit of extra money. Every bit of money you can get at the start is always good. So we're just going to recover this back, and we're then going to put it back in storage and head on back over to Alaska for the time being. And before I finish up for this particular episode, I'm just going to show you the other truck that we got when we got to the garage earlier. So if we go to the local map here, we have the Fleet Star, which, as we saw earlier, is completely broken. So what we do with that is we just recover it straight back to the garage, and doing so fully repairs it and refuels it. So that's another thing you can do. If you damage your truck too badly, you can recover and get free repairs without having to take a service vehicle out there to do it for you. So the Fleet Star is quite possibly the best early game truck you can get. It is incredibly versatile. It has a lot of good options, and I used it probably for a majority of all the tasks I did in Michigan. Once you start getting out of Michigan, it does start to struggle a little bit, and that's where you need to start definitely upgrading to bigger and better trucks. But for the early part of the game, it's a great workhorse. So I'm just going to go ahead and customize this a little bit. So as you can see, most of the options we have here are completely locked. We don't even have different tires yet. However, there is one or a couple of things we can do. So the first thing we can do is put a snorkel on it, and that's really helpful because sometimes you can find yourself working in bogs or having to ford rivers, and it avoids you taking a bit of engine damage and allows your truck just to get a little bit further. Not all trucks have a snorkel option, but if it's there, I highly recommend grabbing it. The other thing we got is the upgrade outside the garage was actually engageable all-wheel drive for this truck, which allows us to have that option. So we're going to sell the rear-wheel drive because it's terrible. And we're also going to add a few options to the back of this truck. So we're going to slap a flatbed, a side bed on it, and we're also going to add a loading crane. It does take up most of the money we just got from all of this. However, we're going to make some of that money back. So we are going to go to truck storage, and we're going to go to the GMC here. Now, this is a really good use for the GMC when you first start the game. Once you've got your fleet star, just hit sell. And there's a load of money back, because you really don't want to be using the GMC. It's just not up to the job. So just to finish this off, we're just going to give it a nice little paint job. I generally like to go for these two-toned ones. Some of them are quite nice. I'm going to go for this red and black one for the time being, because I really quite like that red and black scheme. But for now, that's all we're going to do. We'll finish off this video here, and like I said earlier, if you like this content, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you like, pass it around, friends, anything you want to do. But until the next episode, have fun, take care.